G'day ladies and gentlemen, ScottyD here from the Australia's Tabletop Wargaming Network, and welcome into our next installment in our Wargaming highlights for Warhammer 40,000 10th edition. Alrighty ladies and gentlemen, now in this Wargaming highlights, I'm playing against Darren, who is one of our community members, continuing to play with my Space Marine list after the tweaks I made with Bren and the game with Dom, and Darren is bringing his Tyranids up against the Space Marines using the new Codex as well. So this is going to be my first look at how the new Codex plays. Darren was using a Synaptic Nexus army list as well, so it's really exciting to see how some of these different detachments to the Tyranids work now that they've got access to them, as well as how some of these other units do function in the game. It was a really great game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, we did play it at my local store here in Canberra at Jolt Games, which is a great store. If you're ever in Canberra, feel free to check them out. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump on in to this Wargaming highlights. G'day ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to another Wargaming highlights on the ATWN here. And as for my opponent today, I am playing against Darren. Oh, and again, I get it the wrong way every time. How you going, Darren?
Yo, good. Yourself?
Yeah, going well, thank you. So today we are playing a 2,000 point game. I'm bringing the Space Marines again, and Darren is running his Tyranids with the new Codex. The mission we are playing is Search and Destroy deployment. We've got Chilling Rain as the mission rule, so nothing special there. And then primary mission is Take and Hold. So for every objective you hold up to 3, you get 5 points. And then if you go first, you score at the top of your command phase in turn 5. If you go second, you score at the bottom of the turn. So we're going to be jumping in 2,000 point army, so I'll walk you through my list first, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty similar to what I ran against Dom recently. So we've got the Primaris captain with Relic shield, power weapon, and heavy bolt pistol. He is my Warlord, and he has also got the Bolter Discipline enhancement, so sustained hits 1, and if he is in Dev Doctrine, then the unit he's with also does critical hits on 5s as well. We've then got the Primaris Lieutenant with Neo Vorkite Pistol, Storm Shield, and Mastercraft Power Sword as well. He's got the Artificer Armor enhancement, so 2-up save with 5-up feel no pain. We've then got just a bog standard Primaris Tech Marine. For my battle line units, I've got a single 5-man unit of Intercessors. Then we have got 2 units of 5 Scout Snipers up the back there. We've got a unit of 5 Infiltrators with the Helix Gauntlet and Comms Erase, and they also deny deep striking within 12 inches instead of the normal 9. We've got a unit of 5 Incursors there as well, so anything they hit, I can pick 1 unit, and anything else that shoots at it gets +1 to hit as well. We have then also got a unit of 5 Assault Marines with 2 Plasma Guns, a Plasma Pistol, Power Fist on the Sergeant in there. We have got the 5 Devastators with 4 Las Cannons, Power Fist, Stormbolter on the Sergeant as well. The 10-man brick of Sternguard veterans. We've then got 2 units of 5 bikes, 2 grav guns in each, and chainswords on the sergeants. Then for the armored support, we've got 2 Redemptor Dreadnoughts with the plasma cannons, underslung onslaught, Gatling cannons, Stormbolters, Icarus, rocket pods. Then we have got a Predator with 3 Las Cannons, Hunter Killer Missile, Stormbolter, and then the Whirlwind as well, having the Stormbolter and Hunter Killer Missile as well for my 2,000 points. Now, Darren, do you want to walk us through what you were running for your Tyranids?
Yep, so we're running the Synaptic Nexus, which is one of the new Codex detachments for the Tyranids. Basically, it's kind of like tactical doctrines, except for Tyranids. At the start of each battle round, I could either give my army a 5+ feel no pain, +1 to their advance and charge roll, or +1 to hit and melee. My army is being led up by the Warlord, the Neuro Tyrant up the back there. He's got the enhancement, I believe it's Power of the Hive Mind. It gives his attacks +1 strength and an additional blip of AP.
Nice.
Which is pretty good because he's got a flame. It turns him into a budget Tyrannifex.
Yep.
Next up for characters, we got the Death Leaper, just a real cool, fun little skirmisher. Then for our last character, we got a Turbogon, and he's also got an enhancement. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it gives him -1 damage. So
nice.
It makes him really tanky.
That's great.
And for battle line units, we got 20 Termagants with Devourers. Just a single man unit. Termagon's just going to be sitting next to them all day, spawning any back out that Scotty tries to chip off.
Yep.
Now for other data sheets, we have a Lictor, got a Neurolictor, Fireball, just a good old-fashioned spore mine secondary farming generator.
Oh yeah.
We got our horror specs. Can't leave home without our good old distraction Carnifex. And speaking of that, we got the literal Carnifex in the Screamer Killer up front there. We got an Exocrine there. We got 2 units of free zone throws. They're just gonna be pumping out some good old anti-tank and providing our army with the much-needed synapse to let our detachment work. We got some squad of 11 Neurogaunts behind that.
Yep.
Just to the left of that, we got the Raveners. We've given them the upgrade for an extended carapace, so basically they get +1 to their armor save now in lieu of their 4-axe weapons. We got a squad of 5 Barbgaunts.
Yep.
2 squads of 1 base Rippers, and then we have the big, bad, new, scary Norn Emissary. It's gonna come hunting for some Scotty Marines. Take up a whole bunch of shots, just be an absolute menace on the table.
Oh yeah.
Last but not least, we have the Lone Psycho Page, which it's kind of alright. Trying it just to have some fun with it.
Yep, and just see how it goes on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So that is it for the armies, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get into deployment, and we will be right back with you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we've just finished deployment, and I'll walk you through my side, and then we'll get Darren to walk through his. So we have got down the bottom here, the Whirlwind and the Tech Marine both towing on to the objective in there. In the levels above, we've got the 5 Devastators up there. Moving on to my left flank, we have got a unit of infiltrators that infiltrated into the left-hand no man's land side. Unit of 3 bikes right on the line. Same with the Redemptor Dreadnought behind the line of sight there. We have also got that have infiltrated the 2 units of 5 Scout Snipers, quite brave from them, to be infiltrating into this zone. The bottom unit is holding on to the objective as well, and we'll see what happens from there. But we've also then got on my right-hand flank, we've got the 5 Intercessors starting on the objective. The 5 Incursors that will get a scout move at the start of the game as well. We've got the 10 Stone Guard with the 2 characters on the top and bottom levels of the ruin. We've got the Predator behind it, another unit of 3 bikes right on the line over there with a Redemptor Dreadnought on the line. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this deployment goes into how Darren has deployed. Do you want to walk us through?
Yep. So just starting on from the right-hand side here, we got the Horror Specs right on the front line, just instantly pull up a threat that Scotty has to deal with. We got some Barbgaunts holding down these sight lines for just any infantry that'll try and move up. We got some zones to try and pressure some anti-tank just because they're really slow, but you do not want to walk into their range. We got the Norn front and center, just to try and pressure Scotty into picking his poison, and it's just a huge threat that he has to instantly deal with. Same logic behind the Screamer Killer, sorry.
Yep.
And after that, we have the Psychophage right in the middle, just giving pretty much most of the stuff there a 6+ Feel No Pain aura.
Yep.
We got a Neurolictor there. We got some zones just there, backup just for, again, we got a Neurolictor here, just safeguarding, giving synapse to this blob of just Screamer Killers, and Exocrine holding down a very tight line of sight.
Very tight angle, but
Just
gets it through.
Yeah, just making a nice kill zone. We got some Neurogaunts here just up on the back objective, covering next to a Bioball, just ready to lob some spawn mines. And we got a 20-man squad of Terms just ready to just come around this left flank with the Tervigon. Just make, hopefully, an unstoppable war that he can't get through. Then we have an infiltrated Death Leaper, just trying to counterpunch those bikes that are getting a bit too aggressive and try and come around this weaker side. We've kind of put everything in the middle and just hope that we just push stuff up and then just have Scotty deal with it and let the dice roll what they do.
Yeah, which would be really interesting to see. I've got not too great or anti-tank in this list, but we'll see what happens. So we'll roll off for our first turn, then we'll get through scouts and infiltrators and such. But Darren, good luck, mate. Let's have some fun.
Good luck. Yep, you too.
And let's see who is going to end up with first turn. Ooh, I got a 5.
Oh, 2, that's not
The Marines are going to be going first, ladies and gentlemen, so we will come back at the bottom of turn 1 for the Space Marines. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end of battle round, turn 1 for the Space Marines, I should say. A pretty spicy turn, I might say. We were able to put Oaths of Moment onto the Norn Emissary. We also took Devastator Doctrine, which allowed me to advance and still shoot. The Incursors then gave everyone +1 to hit against the Norn Emissary as well. And then the Norn Emissary ended up dying and then blowing up and did a ton of mortal wounds to a bunch of stuff in that area because it's a 6-inch D6 mortal wounds. But the Psychophage was given out 6 up, feel no pain, which did help a little bit there. We did get the Incursors into the middle for my first secondary, which was Area Denial. And then you can't have Defend Stronghold in turn 1. So I ended up drawing a tempting target, which Darren ended up picking this objective right here that I was nowhere near getting this turn. So that secondary I'm actually going to be discarding at the end of my turn to get 1 more CP. We did move the bikes up on both flanks just to get into some positions to get on objectives and such. Snipers did some work getting rid of the Barb Gaunts. And the Whirlwind did get rid of the Biovore as well, which means that is the current dead pile for Darren. So decent amount of damage done this turn, but he still has these guys to come in from Deep Strike. So we'll see what happens during Darren's turn 1, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end of Darren's turn 1. Darren, do you want to walk us through what happened?
Oh, so we try and stabilize we have to wipe out these Redemptor Dreadnoughts. They're just putting too much firepower into our monstrous creatures, which make up the bulk of our army. So we tried moving the Screamer Killer up, getting some shots in. They didn't do much. We then tried to have both Zoanthrope squads fire into that Redemptor, only taking off 3 wounds. So
yeah,
that's really unfortunate.
Yep.
Exocrine wiped out the unit of Marines just
yeah,
there
the
in the center ball.
Incursors.
Can't have you like force amplifying, just having more pluses to hit on the rest of my army.
Yep.
Neurolictor's coming over here trying to secure this flank. Deathleap is over there moving up to take that objective along with the Turbigon, who failed the advance roll with a roll of a 1 to get onto the objective.
Now 3 to get on there.
Now I need to expose the Deathleaper. The Gaunts, they fired into the Redemptor as well with devastating, well, not devastating wounds, sorry, with lethal hits off the Turbigon. All just bounced off.
Did a lot of wounds, but I managed to pass all of my saves on a 2-up.
2-up armor, might as well. They're the only things in range to shoot at.
Yep.
Then we moved on to Assault. We had the Psychophage just over here trying to get in. The Screamer Killer died to Overwatch because of the Stone Guard. They took off the last 5 wounds, but they managed to get 9 damage in. So unfortunately, that Redemptor's still alive. The Horror Specs here managed to get in.
Yep.
If it wasn't for the -1 damage, would have rolled the exact amount of wounds to kill the Redemptor. But unfortunately, it lives with 2 wounds. Just shrugged off the Shoveling Claws and took 3 wounds off the Horror Specs in return.
Yeah, so really, really interesting for the game so far. You discarded Assassinate, which was one of your objectives, and then you did score
Extend battle lines.
Yeah, so we're both on 5 points at the end of battle round 1. So now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of battle round 2, where primary starts to come in, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is it for the Space Marines turn 2. Pretty interesting turn from the Marines. We did a bit of maneuvering. However, Darren popped his Battle Shock ability, and by gosh, did he Battle Shock a lot of units. He ended up Battle Shocking the scouts that are on the objective, so the lower floor scouts, the bikes over in that quarter as well. He Battle Shocked the Redemptor that was in combat right here. Actually, no, it was because he was under half strength. I failed that Battle Shock because he had to Battle Shock twice in the turn.
Yep.
And I didn't declare that I was going to use the CP to auto pass. But that's okay, you live and learn. I chose Tactical Doctrine, he fell back, and I rolled a 2 on the emergency fallback rule, so he died. Fun times. Then we moved up over here. We had the bikes in this side Battle Shocked as well as the Redemptor. Only the Death Leaper on the objective, so the Stone Guard were able to advance on there, get a couple of bodies, and then through might of shooting, we were able to get rid of Death Leaper, and then the Dreadnought went into combat with what I dubbed Big Bertha, but the Turbigon did some damage and didn't cop any damage in response. The Devastators were able to kill off the Horror Specs as well, so it kind of clears off my side, except for this lone Lictor that is going to do some damage in my turn. That Darren did very well to rapid ingress. The Neuro Lictor has also got out on that flank, so we'll see what happens from here. The Whirlwind did some damage to the Neurogaunts that are behind the doors in that ruin, but not enough to be able to bring in the Assault Marines for behind enemy lines. We did score Storm Hostile Objective for 5 points, and I discarded behind enemy lines. So from this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into Darren's turn 2, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, everyone, that is the end of turn 2, and Darren had the bottom of the turn, so why don't you walk us through what you did, man?
Cool. So start off with this combat here. The Tervagon fell back, and that opens up. We could just try and get some board control with the Tervagon. The rest of the Gaunts move up, shoot into the Stern Guard, along with the Execrate.
Yeah.
Picked up 9 of the Stern Guard.
9 out of 10.
So that's pretty good. That's one of the biggest threats to the rest of my army at the moment.
Yep.
Dreadnought's still alive, but can't stay in combat with the Tervagon because Scotty attacks first, so we just got to get Bertha out of there.
Yep.
My Psychic guys over here, the Neuro Tyrant and the Zoanthrope, tried firing into the Redemptor, bounced off, so nothing big here. The Psychophage moved up and devoured the lone 2 Marines left on that objective now, so we're holding that. Zones come over here, tried shooting into the bikes. We picked up 1. The Neuro Lictor is now going on the offense, trying to pick up the lightly armored Marines over here, because he is kind of deceptively hard to kill, especially for his points cost. Onto reserves, we have a Ripper base coming in on the back here, just to protect my flank here from, because he's still got some Assault Marines left in reserve, which are very scary. No idea how we're going to deal with it. Bring in the second Ripper over there to get deployed Teleport Homeless, which I drew for the turn, and engage on all fronts. Ravenous coming in just to put some extra added pressure, and the Lictor moving up. Try and get some combat with the Devastator squads and the Tech Marine, but didn't get a charge off, so unfortunate, but that's pretty much it. Now things are kind of looking sort of even. There's still,
I would say so,
2 big tanks on the board, and the ways I could deal with them is slowly slipping out of my grasp, so we'll try and keep ahead on points and see how it goes.
Yeah, coming into turn 3, this is where the MSU really starts to come in for the Marines, so we'll see what effect this is going to have for the rest of the game, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is it for the Space Marines turn 3. I ended up drawing Overwhelming Force and Storm Enemy Deployment Zone Objective, which I spent a CP to get rid of, and I redrew into Defend Stronghold, so holding my own instead. So we moved up with the Devastators and the Tech Marine on that side. The Predator moved up onto the center objective there. We also had the bikes and the... You know what I forgot to bring on? I forgot to bring on the Assault Marines.
Now you're just forced to rapid ingress them.
Yeah, I have to rapid ingress them, otherwise they are dead. So that's my CP spent for next turn. I just remembered that. So we had the bikes do some shooting and go into combat against the Termagants. The Dreadnought managed to help finish off the Psychophage in the middle, as well as do some damage to the Termagants. The Predator completely whiffed on the Exocrine. It passed its 1 save that it did, and even with Oaths of Moment, just did not do as much as I was hoping to there. Scout Snipers did absolutely nothing to the Neuro Lictor, so they are probably going to get munched on next turn. And then we had the Raveners and the Ripper Swarm down here. The Raveners went down to the Lone Stern Guard Vet, Captain, and Lieutenant in combat, and the Ripper Swarm died to Stern Guard shooting. In terms of all 3 of them shooting and doing damage to the Ripper Swarm. The Las Cannons over here from the Devastators that moved out managed to finish off the Lictor that was there as well, meaning that there's actually nothing that can really threaten my home objective, so I do score that at the end of Darren's turn. Points currently is 45 to 30 going my way, but we'll see how the rest of the game goes, ladies and gentlemen. There's still half the game to go. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end of Darren's turn 3. Darren, do you want to walk us through what you did during your turn?
Yep, so We spawned back some Gaunts there. Turvagons stayed in combat and then just whiffed again against the Dreadnought. However, in shooting, we got the fire lanes all lined up. The Exocrine and the Zoanthrope lit up the Predator and finally took it down in a single round of shooting.
Yeah,
which,
not surprised.
Yeah, that thing has been killing many a monsters all turn, so we got that. We ended up getting the objectives from that because we drew Area Denial and Overwhelming Force. So that one action, just 2 for 1 their objective, which was pretty good.
Yep.
Over here, we're starting to slink around this side of the board to try and put some pressure on these lone Marines back here because we might as well either concede my left half of the board there or just bog it down enough that, well, they don't shoot at anything. However, the Neurolictor engaged the bike in combat here and absolutely bounced and whiffed, so we can't chain together killing those squishy Marines there, but we'll see what happens now, because there are 5 Assault Marines rapid ingress onto the top half of the board as well.
Yeah, so I did that during the movement phase, otherwise they were going to be destroyed. So, had to spend my only CP to rapid ingress them, but you know, that's the way it falls. When you forget your reserves, that's what happens. So yeah, and the Neurolictor, whilst yes, it is up on the 2nd level, it's because the model is actually quite tall. So happy for it to be in combat with a bike below and just using the position on the 2nd level for where it is. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back after the Space Marine turn 4. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end of the Space Marine turn for turn 4. We did some good stuff here. I'm really happy with the turn overall. We managed to kill the Termagants that were in combat with the bikes. We managed to kill the Turvagon, getting us 5 victory points on Assassinate, as well as being in 3 table quarters as well for engage on all fronts. The bike and the Neurolictor went toe-to-toe. The bike took 2 wounds, and then the Neurolictor also took a wound. So dare say the bike's going to die in Darren's turn. We tried to put as much damage as we could on the Neurotyrant to try and kill all the characters, I believe, because the Neurolictor isn't a character.
No.
So that would have been some extra points there. But, yeah, I'm really happy. Like, you know, scored max on primary as well. So relatively solid position for the Marines going into the rest of the game. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so that is the end of Darren's turn 4. Do you want to walk us through what you did for your turn?
Yep, a real unfortunate turn of events, but to start off with, we battle shocked the top unit of scouts here with the Neurolictor's probe ability. So now they're going to be having -1 to hit against the rest of my army, which is pretty good for how late in the game we're getting. However, in the shooting phase, that's where things went all horribly wrong. We decided to roll for greed. We have a few options for sequencing. If we shoot the Exocrine, that gives the rest of my army -1 to hit. But
Or reroll 1s.
yeah, reroll 1, sorry. But we drew Bring It Down, so we have to fire everything into the Dreadnought. But if the zones can just kill the Dreadnought outright, I could greed with the Exocrine and fire it into the bikes and take him off that objective. But, so we decided to just, let's roll greed and fire the 2 Zoanthropes, their Warp Lances, into this first, ignoring the Exocrine's reroll buffs. We rolled 2 1s to hit, so instantly punished. We tried to command reroll another one, another 1. So, yeah, really unlucky. So the next Zoanthrope goes into hit, roll a 2 to hit. So that's unfortunate. We rolled Cleanse, so we have to do something on the middle objective there, so the Neurotyrant can't flame in either there. And the Exocrine fired in, only managed to take 2 wounds off the Redemptor after all of that, so...
Yep.
Instantly punished for bad sequencing, but oh well.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So you'll end up scoring primary at the bottom of your turn as we go into turn 5. I've just scored my primary for another 15 points. And then my secondaries for turn 5 for the Marines are Cleanse and Extend Battle Lines. So shouldn't be too hard. We'll see what happens for the Marines' turn, and we'll come back at the end of the Marines' turn 5. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've just concluded Battle Round 5. I'll walk you through what I did in my turn, and then Darren can walk you through what he did in his. So not too much happened. The bikes did cleanse on that objective because I drew cleanse, as well as, I can't remember what my last one was, but I'll look it up later on. And then we moved the Assault Marines and the Dreadnought towards the center objective, managing to kill the Neuro Tyrant and kill the Zoanthrope that was there. We also killed one of the Zoanthropes that was up the top there. However, we were slowly able to whittle down the Neurolictor with the scouts that are in that building that he got in combat with. Killed 3 of them, but then the scouts also then eventually got enough damage through to kill him as well. But that was pretty much it for my turn. Then Darren, do you want to talk through what you did for your turn 5?
Yep, so my turn was to try and get as much victory points as possible, try and close up the thing. We have to take a few little risks. We have to advance the Zoanthrope to get onto the second objective, as we got secure no man's land, which requires us to control the midpoint. However, we also have bring it down, so we still got that still. It means we have to try and take a gamble, so we could move up the exocrine, shoot the bikes, but if we overkill the bikes, we can't assault the bikes to get them onto the objective, which we did there. The alternative is we could try and assault the Redemptor the same way there, put all of our shots into that, and then assault it, because there's no way the Redemptor can kill. That's if the Zoanthrope failed. However, things kind of worked out perfectly for us, except we didn't kill the Redemptor, so we did not get bring it down, unfortunately. And the Neurolictor's Battleshock failed here, so Scotty ended up holding that objective there, so we couldn't get a clean 15 at the end, but we ended up doing pretty alright throughout the course of the game as well.
Definitely agree, definitely agree. So, the end of the game, I ended up scoring 84 points to Darren's 51 without battle ready. Let me pull this up. Darren, thanks for the game, mate.
Yeah, good game.
What was your highlight?
Jesus, like the non-emissary dying turn 1 and then dealing...
A lot.
What was it? Like, at least around 25 mortal wounds to my own army, which is huge. That, like, just that instance alone probably took out nearly a fourth, only a third of, like, my total wound pool. So, like, just damn.
For me, my highlight was, this was the, you know, if you've been around the streams or the content, you know that Tyranids aren't my... they're my white whale. They're the army that I've never actually been able to get a win against. And so for me, the highlight is actually to be able to get a win against Tyranids for the first time. So really happy about that. And just, it was a great game, very bloody on both sides. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Wargame highlights. Alrighty, everybody. So that is it for this Wargaming highlights video with Darren. Now, it was an absolutely brutal game with the Marines getting first turn and blowing up the Norn Queen. Really did a lot of work that I was worried about at the start of the game. Darren was really great about it, and we had a really great game. Thoroughly enjoyed it and had a great time. So, you know, I did end up pulling out an 84 to 51 point win in this game for the Marines. So the first win with the Marines with this list. Unfortunately, with their new Codex coming out in the next week or two, it does mean that this list is going to have to change once again. So really going to have to get back to the drawing board with it to see how things can change. And it does also mean that my Necrons are going to be up for release soon as well, and they're going to have to change as well. But ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave your comment down below if you did enjoy it and anything that you think we can improve on in our Wargaming highlights videos, or that goes for any other of our videos as well. Or if you just really enjoyed the battle report, feel free to let us know down below. If you did enjoy it, hit a like on there as well. And if you enjoy the content we're creating here on the ATWN, feel free to subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell so you're able to be notified as to when we are releasing more content. And if you do have any feedback but don't want to leave it here, but you want to enjoy some more Warhammer 40k gaming content, feel free to come find us where we are live over on Twitch. We are predominantly doing hobbying streams on Monday and Friday evenings, Australian Eastern Time, but we do also do tournament coverage from the southeastern seaboard of a variety of different events throughout the year as well, with a lot of big events coming up in the next couple of months as well. And you can leave some comments, leave some feedback in there, or just chat with me and get to know me a bit better when I'm doing hobbying streams. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.